Hello, 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 hello. And happy Friday, guys. Welcome to
Hey,
another episode of Startup Bytes with myself and Bjorgvin. On Fridays, we give you 5 tips in 15 minutes to help you in your business right now. So today's topic is 5 questions you should be asking your customer. I'm Keneshia Raymond. I am the program manager here at Startup Tucson, and this is my friend Bjorgvin.
I'm Bjorgvin Benedictson, and I run audioissues.com. It's just an online business in the music industry that helps home studio musicians and bedroom producers create better music by helping them do it themselves.
So every Friday we kind of jump into the tips, but we have 5 tips and always some bonus tips. I want to start with the first one, which is always have a call to action, because what we start with every week, always have a call to action. And now we're going to jump into our actual tips for the week. So Bjorgvin, tip number 5.
Tip number 5 of what questions should you be asking your customers is, what is your biggest problem with X? And X being the thing that they are trying to solve or the problem that they are having. And then maybe a follow-up question to that could be, especially if you're doing this in a customer interview, sort of back and forth situation and not in a survey, is how does it make them feel? Because once you get their actual emotions, you can tap into that, and that helps you deliver or helps you understand your customer better, and also helps you write better sales copy.
So remembering what is the biggest question with X, dig down into what is the biggest question or what is the biggest issue
Problem.
you're having,
Yeah.
X problem,
Yeah.
and then don't lead them into that. Like, let them tell you what is the problem they're having and take all that information before then you revert it out to figure out how you're going to solve that problem.
Yeah.
So tip number 4.
What best describes you? I like asking this question because I have sort of a primary, secondary, tertiary audience, and in my case, I can I can serve the home studio musician that's working on their own music, or I can serve the music producer slash engineer that's working with other people. I can serve them with the same type of content, but I do want to know who the primary audience is so that I can target my things to them more, be more focused on them, because the more concise and focused and sort of descriptive I can be to one particular audience, it actually helps reach the other customers as well, because they will pick and choose what they can relate to, as long as it is not vague and bland and should be specific.
So who are you and what do you do is what you want to ask them. But that really helps them target in on their target market customer as well, correct?
Yeah, because so it helps you write copy that puts them inside the sales copy, because you're writing copy that describes their situation. You might want to write about a particular bad day that your customer is having, and you need to describe it so that they can relate to it and they understand, because it's almost like you're reading their mind, and they can put themselves into the scenario that you are creating with your marketing materials.
So I don't know. I'm not going to age myself, but do you remember when Miss Cleo did the thing on? It was like an infomercial, and she was selling her skills. So then she would talk to people and tell them, "Oh, so you're having a bad day. You want to talk to so and so," and people would give her all the money because
Well,
she was talking exactly to them.
yeah, I understand that, but I'm too foreign to understand the concept fully.
Well, that brings us to tip number 3.
What are you doing now to improve X? And X obviously being the problem that your customer is having, or the problem that you're trying to solve as a entrepreneur. So this is great for learning about other methods that they have tried. Also, it helps you identify competitors that you may not have known existed. And it also helps you helps you develop your copy as so that you can write things like, maybe you've tried X, Y, and Z, and because they've told you that they have tried X, Y, and Z, they can relate to that copy even more. So what are you doing now to improve X helps you understand them even better, because you're trying to understand what they are doing now, which is not using your product.
Yeah, and I think that also find out what product they're using, but then go research the product that they're
Mhm.
using and see what you are either missing or can do better to really bring in that customer. That will help you as you're creating new things and kind of growing what you're doing already.
Yeah, and it helps a lot. So doing research into competitors, and especially like on Amazon, if you find like the 3-star reviews on Amazon for products that you may be trying to compete with, you'll find
Mhm.
so the 1-star reviews are kind of garbage, and the 5-star reviews are like this product is great, but the 3-star reviews are the critical ones that you can really learn from because they'll tell you this product was great for this, but I was hoping for this and that, and it didn't help me with this. So those are the things that they're still missing. So maybe that's something you can put into your solution.
Perfect. So, tip number two.
What are you hoping to achieve with X in the next time frame? And the time frame obviously is should be related to how long it takes them to get results with your product. Maybe it's in the next week, maybe it's in the next 90 days or 6 months to a year. It really has to make sense to the complexity or the need for your product how much they would need to use your product to get results. And this helps you write copy that shows that delivers one tangible result and benefit that they already want.
Also, it will help you as you're developing that next thing. Like, I want to achieve this in 30 days. So then, as you're naming your next thing, you're
Mhm.
telling them, okay, you can achieve this in 30 days if you use this product.
Yeah.
So take everything your customers are giving you and really take that in as you're moving on to either better your product or develop the next product.
Right. Yeah, and it's so in my case, I asked this in a survey at the beginning of every email sequence, and what a lot of my audience is hoping to achieve is they want to finish and release a song or an EP or an album, but just the one song is usually is a recurring theme. So I created a membership site that is full of different courses that helps you with different facets of the production process, so that whether you are just starting out or you're stuck trying to finish or you're trying to figure out what to do once your song is finished, there's all that information in there. So that product or membership that has recurring revenue now is directly was directly created and developed based on this one question.
Let's talk about surveys real quick because we have a little bit of time. How beneficial is it for people to create a survey? When should they implement the survey? And how should they get that rolling out?
I can tell you how I do it. I think that you should try to survey your audience as soon as possible,
Mhm.
and you should also survey them at multiple different times. I have sort of a catch-all problem survey where all these questions are in, and these are not questions that I made up or take any credit for. These are just questions that I have learned to ask by reading books by people much smarter than me that have recommended various survey and customer interviewing methods. And so I ask subscribers to answer the survey, and I also ask any new customer uh, to answer a survey that may be slightly different. It's
Mhm.
either, and for that reason, and when people buy, I have a different survey that is basically a customer survey that asks them why they bought, because that helps me understand the motivation for why they decided to purchase. And I also ask them in that survey, what are they hoping to achieve by reading the book or taking the course. That helps me put that vocabulary into result driven copy. And then I also ask non-buyers. So if I run a promotion, then after the promotion has ended, I will send an email to my list or to the people that didn't buy and ask them why, just so that I can understand their objections of what and sort of situation. I ask them like, what's did you even consider buying? If they considered buying, then why didn't they? A lot of times it's I don't have time or it's too expensive, and things that are too expensive is sort of, it's a vague thing because everything is too expensive depending on how much money you have. So
Mhm.
it doesn't, so the price point isn't necessarily always, if everybody says that it's too expensive, maybe it is, maybe you can experiment with pricing, but if you know that you're basically at market price, maybe you take that with a grain of salt. And then and in those surveys I asked them what they are trying to do now, or what are they going to do instead of this to achieve their X goal or result.
Perfect. So survey, 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 and call to action.
Yeah.
All of that works together, guys.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking any books to share with everyone. Do you have any books that you would like to share?
Yeah, for surveying and customer interviewing in particular, I would read Ask by Ryan Levesque. It's Ryan Levesque, or that's how it's pronounced, or
You
written
put
down.
in the comments.
Yeah, we'll put it in the notes. Ryan Levesque, and then there is a customer interviewing book that's pretty good. That's like Talking to Humans, I think it's called. That one's
Yes.
really good. As far as, yeah, those are like the two ones that pop into my head. Ryan's other book, Choose, is also very, very good. So those are definitely things to check out. And then
Perfect.
3 questions that you shouldn't ask, or at least, yeah, don't ask
Yeah.
them. Is you might be able to ask this question once you have enough problem-driven data, and it's I'm thinking of creating X. What do you think? You don't want to ask this question at the very beginning because you immediately turn their mindset into how they can help you develop that, when it's actually more beneficial for you that they focus on their own problems.
Yes.
And then, would you pay for X? Is a pointless question, because if you know that people are paying X and 10 times X for similar results, then you already know the answer to that question. There's no need to ask that question. And then yes or no questions give you zero data. They only give you yes or no, and it's not very helpful. You want qualitative answers.
So make sure as you're going through this, you remember the 3 no's, and then we have 4 questions for them to actually ask their customers. Take the 3 no's, put it on a sticky note, and just don't ask your customers those questions, because you're not going to get anything from it. Anything else you want to add to this? We came under our 15 minutes. We still got 2 minutes and some seconds.
Oh, actually, there's one question here that I may have forgotten to put in here. It's if you could wave a magic wand and I'd send you exactly what you wanted, what would that be? And this is a question I stole from Ramit Sethi. Actually, another book that would be good to read is Your Move. It's the underdog's guide to online business, I believe it's called. Yeah, it's definitely called Your Move, but I can't remember the subtitle. Because, and asking this question at the end is better than at the beginning, because you're basically fishing for what kind of content you can create and things of that nature. It's similar to, I'm thinking of creating X, but it's more about if you could have one thing that would help out your situation, what would it be?
So that is your number 1 tip, guys. Make sure that you're asking questions to your customers. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to create a survey. Don't be afraid to just ask them one-on-one when you have them, whether you're doing a webinar or something. Just make sure you're communicating with them, so then you can take that information and compile it and do whatever you need to do with it, whether it's content, courses, books, however you want to compile it. Anything else? I think we're good for today. We're under those seconds.
I think we're about on time here.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining us again for another episode of Startup Bytes. We'll see you next Friday. It is Friday, guys. So move your body, go have fun safely, and try on your pants. Like, it's been weeks. Try on your real jeans, guys. It's very important to see if they're going to fit, to know if you're going to run around the town or you're just going to walk around and have fun. We'll see you next week, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.